In only 10 days, the attention of Jewish hoops fans across the country will focus on Memphis, Tennessee, and the 11th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. 16 teams representing 10 states and Canada will compete this year for the prestigious national title. More than 50,000 viewers will tune in live and more than 1,000 spectators will be on hand. But who will emerge as the 2017 national champion? Will the Midwest regain its national status as a powerhouse, or will national bragging rights be an East Coast, West Coast affair? Will the Showtime stylings of the LA Stars withstand the hard-hitting grind of their New York counterparts? Will the hometown kids finally achieve their potential and bring the national title back home to Memphis? Or will this be the year that the new kids from Davie, Florida shock the world by winning the championship in their first national event? So many questions, so much excitement, and it all begins here. So pull up a chair, sit back, and relax as the 2017 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Seating Show starts now.
Charging the lane, up over defenders, it's in! What an amazing shot!
Welcome to the 11th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. Players, coaches, friends, and fans from across the country and around the globe are tuning in to see who will be this year's #1 seed and how the first game matchups will shake out. So let's start the excitement without any further delay. The 16th seed in the 2017 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. From Skokie, Illinois, the Fasman Yeshiva High School. Second-year head coach Jeremy Geller is joined by Fasman legend and 2010 Cooper Invitational alum Benji Mailer at the helm of the Yeshiva, one of Memphis's favorite participating schools. While not particularly flashy, fundamentally the Yeshiva is sound on the defense and offensive ends of the court, and have a variety of options in the starting lineup and coming off the bench. A key to the Yeshiva's success will be the play of 6'1" center Yoni Kozlowski and guard Yedidja Rosenwasser. The Yeshiva is motivated to make a deep run in the Tier 2 bracket. This year's 15 seed. From Rockville, Maryland, the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School Lions. Coach David McLeod returns to Memphis in somewhat unfamiliar territory. The Lions have been ranked nationally in the top 5 for the past 4 years and have fielded 2 of the best Jewish players in the country, in Brian Knapp, who now plays for Cornell University, and Danny Kuhnreich. This is a serious rebuilding year for the Lions as they retool after the Knapp dynasty. But this is your warning. Do not overlook the Lions. Coach McLeod is a master motivator, and the Lions have a proud and storied history. 6'3" star guard Max Stravitz can do everything, and Zev Katz is a lanky and talented point guard. The Lions don't care what seed they are, or who they play for that matter, and they will work hard tip-off to final buzzer of every game. Make no mistake, the Lions will still be exciting to watch, but just may not have enough to make a serious run in Cooper 11. This year's 14th seed, from north of the border, Montreal, Quebec, the Hebrew Academy of Montreal Heat. The Heat return the international flair to the Cooper Invitational. Montreal is the second Canadian team to trek across the border, following the Orchaim Knights of Toronto, who participated in the 2010 and 2015 events. But this will be the first time the Heat play in Memphis, and we expect to see the exciting style of basketball the Heat have become known for across North America. Because the Hebrew Academy does not continue through the American 12th grade, players lose 1 year of eligibility graduating after 11th grade, and at the varsity level are forced to compete against older, more experienced, and oftentimes more physically developed players. This inherent disadvantage will likely hurt the Heat against the top teams in Cooper 11. However, the Heat may be as talented as any team in the Tier 2 bracket, and are certainly a team to watch closely. 5'9", Salmon Benesty leads the Heat. He can slash, he can shoot, and he's a natural zone buster. Add 6-foot Yoni Drazen who can shoot the rock from anywhere, and point guard Ellie Fish, and you have a core of talent capable of taking the Heat to the Tier 2 Final Four and beyond. The 13 seed in the 2017 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. From West Hills, California, the Toledo High School Jaguars. The Jags come into Cooper 11 looking to become the only team in tournament history to three-peat in 3 consecutive years. They won the Tier 2 titles in 2015 and 2016. But their road to the third Tier 2 crown will be more difficult than in years past. The exceptional talent which made up the Jaguars' formidable 2014 team has now graduated, and the team will rely heavily on 6'3" junior guard Liam Evanham. The rest of the team is young and inexperienced, and the Jags may need some time to gel before hitting their stride and recognizing their full potential. But anyone who counts the Jags out now is foolish. If the Jaguars can get hot and dictate their style of play, they may very well find themselves in the Tier 2 Final Four, on the doorstep of their third consecutive championship game. This year's number 12 seed, hometown favorites from Memphis, Tennessee, the Cooper Yeshiva High School Maccabees. The hometown favorite Cooper Macs complete a successful, though somewhat disappointing, 16-17 season. Having fielded a squad with arguably the best guard and the best big man in the country, and several talented vets, 2016 was to be the year that the Macs won its second Cooper title. But it was not to be, and while Cooper was ranked in the top 10 nationally for most of the season, they ended on a slide, finishing 13-16 overall and with a number 20 ranking. If history tells us anything, it's that the Macs have never been a team who have shied away from a challenge. Both of the previous times the Macs were ranked 12, they upset the number 5 seed in the first rounds of the Cooper tournament. And Cooper could have all the talent to pull off that upset again this year. Returning vets Ethan Morris and Simcha Azdoba will lead this relatively young but dynamic squad. The X factor for Cooper could be 6'2" transfer Nussi Orgel, an athletic power forward who can impact the game inside and outside of the paint. The Macs will have their work cut out for them this year, and we expect them to be a real competitor in the Tier 2 bracket. The number 11 seed from Elizabeth, New Jersey, Riftait's Masifta Academy, JEC High School Thunder. Legendary coach Avi Bornstein takes the helm of the Thunder after several down years and expects to see the tides of JEC basketball change this year. The Thunder players have put in a lot of time this summer, practicing together, getting in shape, and learning the system. And while there's no doubt that the pieces are young and inexperienced, the pieces are definitely there. Point guard Moshe Heller, sharpshooter Jake Goldberg, and super athlete Yair Kimmel lead a very hungry JEC squad. The Thunder are on a mission at Cooper to reestablish themselves as true contenders, and a team to be feared in league play. Watch out, Tier 2. The Thunder is crashing once again. This year's number 10 seed, from Miami Beach, Florida, the Scheck Hillel Community School Lions. One of the nation's most storied programs, the Lions, formerly the Hurricanes, returned to Memphis looking to get back to Championship Sunday, a place they have not been since 2009. And while the Lions bring a talented squad to Cooper 11, their place in Championship Sunday is more likely to be in the Tier 2 bracket, not the Tier 1. While guard Solomon Rosenthal leads the Lions in scoring, and star point guard Ben Givner runs the offense, the Lions are big in the post with the Twin Towers, 6'6" centers Ben Brenner and Samuel Taleb, looming around the basket. The Lions' size should pose problems for many of the teams in the Tier 2 bracket. With Coach Craig Mankoff at the helm, you simply can never count the Lions out. We expect to see them fighting for a place in the Tier 2 championship. And rounding out the prospective Tier 2 bracket, at number 9, from Great Neck, New York, the North Shore Hebrew Academy Stars. North Shore has had a rough couple of years, having lost back-to-back-to-back national title games at Cooper in 2012, 13, and 14, and then losing their exceptional leader, Elliot Steinmetz, who took the head coaching reins at Yeshiva University. It is only fair to expect several down years of rebuilding. But Coach De La Rosa believes that this might be the year that North Shore steps back into the national limelight. Perhaps that is in large part due to 5'11" junior guard Michael Tzor, a transfer from crosstown rival Hank, who can score and score in bunches with the best of the league. The Stars intend to ride Tzor's hot hand in every game. But Tzor is not alone. Add 6'3" center Harry Tawil, and you have a potent inside-outside game. North Shore is always well-disciplined and very well-coached. Expect the Stars to compete for the title in the Tier 2 bracket. Moving into the Tier 1 bracket, with the number 8 seed from Davie, Florida, the Posnack Jewish Day School Rams. Making its debut appearance on the main stage of Jewish high school basketball, the Posnack Rams come to Memphis looking to add some national cred to their ever-growing reputation. Ending last season just a few spots out of the national top 10, the Rams returned their entire team from last season, a team that beat the best of South Florida, including national powerhouses Yeshiva High School of Boca and RASG Warriors, en route to a 15-12 record. Posnack is led by one of the most prolific scorers in the nation, 5'11" shooting guard Joey Levy, who averaged nearly 27 points a game last season and has already passed the 1,000-point scoring total with his entire senior year still to come. Add senior slasher Seth Wasserstrom, and perhaps the biggest of all the bigs in this year's tournament, 6'5", 270-pound Price Daub, and this is a very, very dangerous team. While we expect Posnack to teeter on the fence between Tier 1 and Tier 2, don't be surprised if Posnack gets hot and makes a deep run. The Rams could very well be the Cinderella of this year's ball. This year's number 7 seed, from Lawrence, New York, the Hebrew Academy of the Five Towns and Rockaway, HAFTR Hawks. The 2014 Cooper Invitational champion HAFTR Hawks returned to Memphis after a one-year hiatus and a bit of a down year, having finished the season 13-10 and ranked 23 in the national rankings. But this year will be different for the Hawks, as they bring a potent and explosive squad to Memphis, led by senior forward Shai Liato and open court finisher Harrison Koritsky. The number 7 seed is likely less reflective of the HAFTR talent, and more because, well, they are just small, unusually small. No player stands above 6 feet. And while HAFTR's exceptional coaching and elite talent will mask some of the size disparities, the size of several of this year's competing teams may simply be too much for HAFTR to overcome. But make no mistake, HAFTR will be a hard out for any team and will likely be a force to reckon with in the middle of the Tier 1 bracket. This year's number 6 seed from Deerfield, Illinois, the Rochelle Zell Jewish High School Tigers. After losing two-time Jewish Hoops America National Player of the Year, Josh Newlander, one could only expect a slide from the Tigers as they retooled for the future. The Tigers competed last year, finishing 16-7 and ranked 22 nationally, but didn't stand the test compared with several of the other Coach Dello-led programs. But 2017 should be the year that the Tigers reemerge as national contenders. The Tigers are led by Deerfield Public High School transfer, 6'3" shooting guard Grant Primer. A knockdown shooter from anywhere in the half court, Primer has already received scholarship looks from several collegiate programs. Add 4-year starter Eli Nassatir and 6'3" Israel transfer Guy Ostrov, and you have an uber-athletic trifecta that can dismantle defenses in a variety of ways. The Tigers have already gone 4-0 in a statewide preseason tournament and feel that they have all the pieces in place to make this another banner year for Rochelle Zell. Coach Dello believes this team is as good, if not better, than his national powerhouse 2012 team. Keep an eye out for the Tigers. While they are a number 6 seed in Cooper 11, they were also a number 6 seed in 2012, and that year they took home the title. Moving in to this year's top 5. At number 5, from Los Angeles, California, the Yeshiva University Los Angeles EULA Panthers. One of the all-time great programs and 3-time Cooper Invitational national champions, the EULA Panthers returned to Memphis after what most considered a disappointing year in 2016-17. Finishing 9th in the 2016 Cooper Invitational, and with an overall 16-18 record and a number 25 ranking in the national polls, one can only view the 15-16 season as a rebuilding one for the Panthers. But if that's true, that means the Panthers return in 2017 rebuilt and ready to reclaim their spot as one of the nation's perennial top 5 teams. Coach Eli Hammy did some recruiting in the offseason, bringing NBA Hall of Fame coach Jim Clemens onto the coaching staff. With those two at the helm, the Panthers reignite their methodical spread offense, led by 6-foot floor leader Noah Pomerantz and 6'2" junior guard Noah Mizels, along with all-star forwards Joseph Sassoon and Albert Fallis. But the key to the Panthers has always been their point guard play, and Coach Hammy believes he may just have the best in the country in Daniel Totiev. This year will be no repeat of last year. This year, the Panthers are here to retake their crown, and it should be no surprise to anyone to see the Panthers back in the hunt come Championship Sunday. The number 4 seed in the 11th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. From Brooklyn, New York, the Magen David Yeshiva Warriors. It's been 5 years since the boys from Brooklyn have come to Memphis, but their reputation still precedes them. Led by Coach Ike Dweck, the Warriors bring a high-octane, full-court run-and-gun style of play for every minute of all 4 quarters, and the intensity seems to only get higher as the game wears on. The Warriors field a young but exceptionally dynamic team, a group that has been playing together for years and steamrolled the competition at the JV level. Led by super sophomore phenom Albert Nasiri, junior Michael Natkin, the MVP of last year's JV championship team, leading scorer Teddy Shama, and the big man double-double machine Steve Mizrahi, Magen David is dynamic at every position. A lack of size and, more importantly, experience may push the title 1 year down the road for this dynamic squad, but this year they won't be an easy out. We expect to see the Warriors in the Final Four, competing hard for a spot in the national championship game. This year's number 3 seed, from Woodmere, New York, the Davis Renov-Staller DRS Wildcats. The DRS Wildcats returned to Memphis for the second time in school history. Their first appearance in 2015 showcased perhaps the most dominant Yeshiva League team in more than a decade. That team, led by superstar Gabriel Leifer, is the only team in modern history to have won the triple crown of Yeshiva high school basketball: the Cooper Invitational title, Sarachek title, and New York Metropolitan Yeshiva League championship, all in the same year. But DRS returns for its second run, committed to taking home its second title. And why should there be any doubts? DRS has the best player in the entire New York Metropolitan Yeshiva League, 6'1" Gidon Valinsky, a lightning-fast, silky-smooth two-guard who is virtually unguardable in the open court. Coach Avramstein has assembled an exceptionally strong cast around Valinsky, with 6'5" Alan Jakubowicz and the big man in the middle, 6'4", 240-pound Moshe Bennett. With talent from top to bottom, DRS may very well need to make some room in the trophy case, as they could be boarding the flight home to JFK with lots of hardware in hand. Which brings us to the final two. With this year's number 2 seed, from Valley Village, California, the Valley Torah Wolfpack. Valley Torah makes its debut appearance in Cooper 11 with a team more than capable of taking home the national championship. Returning a squad that finished 31-5 last year and as the number 8 team in the nation, the Wolfpack are led by perhaps the most dynamic Yeshiva high school player in the country, 6'6" blue chip point guard Ryan Terrell. Terrell, a highly touted Division I prospect, runs the Wolfpack offense akin to another Californian, Urban Magic Johnson, seeing over in the defense with his height and length and scoring virtually at will. But Coach Lear Schwartzberg's squad is not limited to Terrell, with brothers 6'6" Nada Altit and 6'6" Nimi Altit and 6'7" Alex Rabibo, all joining the 6'6" Terrell. The Wolfpack are huge inside and out, and a devastating mismatch for almost any team they will face at Cooper. With talent at every position and great depth off the bench, the Wildcats field a team of 20 players. The Wolfpack expect to outshine their LA counterparts and play for their first national title in school history. Which brings us to the number 1 overall seed in the 2017 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. From Los Angeles, California, the Milken Community School Wildcats. The Milken Wildcats returned the core of what was one of the most elite teams in the country last year. The 2016-17 squad finished 26-8, winning the California 4A state championship. Coach Michael Whiting, one of the nation's most prolific Jewish high school coaches, brings to Memphis virtually the identical team that finished a close third in the 2016 Cooper Invitational. Only this year they are 1 year bigger, 1 year stronger, and far more experienced. Milken is led by preseason National Player of the Year nominee, 6'5" Amitai Affinjar, a super athletic power forward who spent the offseason training with pro players in the Los Angeles area. With a newly developed outside jumper and a gold medal, which he won for Team USA at the 20th Maccabees Games in Israel, Amitai is ready and able to lead Milken all the way to the Cooper title. But Milken is far from one-dimensional. Superstars Aaron Haruni and Eli Elisha return, along with junior big men Daron Mattian and Ethan Zimmerman, and a cast of other highly talented supporting players. Milken is the team to beat this year, as they look to bring the prestigious Cooper title back home to Cali. With the seedings now in place, log on to the Cooper Invitational website at www.cooperinvitational.com to see the full list of seedings and the first day game schedule. The website also has historical information, pictures, and videos from past Cooper Invitational tournaments. In addition, Make sure to enter your bracket in the 2017 National Bracket Challenge. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in Memphis next week.